The New York Times yesterday released this article. To their shock, right? Cubans in Florida are being deported in record numbers. Just last year, the Trump administration repatriated, aka deported, more than 1,600 Cubans back to Cuba. Now, for context, that is double the number of Cubans who were deported in 2024. And in the years that Trump has been president, he has sent more Cubans back than his 3 predecessors. And that's not mentioning all the Cubans that have been deported to Mexico, to places in Africa, to countries all over Latin America and the world because they had some sort of criminal conviction and the Cuban government refused to accept them back into Cuba. Now, what's crazy is that polls suggest that most Cuban American registered voters, who obviously tend to be Republican, continue to support Donald Trump. But there has been a growing amount of unease throughout the community with this situation. Growing unease in the community, but they still continue to support Donald Trump regardless of their family members, their friends, their neighbors being deported back to the Cuban dictatorship, right? Or to random countries across the entire world for convictions that these folks had in the 80s, 90s, 70s, right? And what's funny to me is the headline, right? To their shock, Cubans in Florida are being deported in record numbers. Because it's the reality, right? This is a shock to the Cuban community here in South Florida, mostly in Miami-Dade, right? In their minds, this shouldn't be happening because obviously there is a dictatorship on the island. The situation in Cuba is worse than ever with health issues, so many different things, right? Unfortunately. But because the Cuban community has benefited from the Cuban Adjustment Act for decades, which has allowed for them to, after 1 year and 1 month of being in the U.S., be able to obtain permanent residency and then obviously become a U.S. citizen much quicker than any other immigrant group in U.S. history. They have this mentality of, I'm up here, other immigrants are down here.
Guys, keep watching and don't forget to subscribe. Credit to the original creators of this video is just for educational purpose. Now keep watching.
Hey y'all, what's up? Good morning, motherfuckers. Now I'm starting my day per usual with a cup of coffee, but I want to talk about mass deportation and how it may affect the Cubans here in Miami. Now I am from Miami, born and raised in the county of Dade. I am a true Floridian. Now I've seen the good, the bad, and the ugly of what Miami can, as well as the racism from the Latin community, especially the older ones. For some reason, they despise black, even though we always been here. But I digress. Now, word on the curb is 50,000 Cubans from Miami may be deported back to Cuba. Now, the reason they're looking at deporting them back is because they say they lied on their paperwork when they sought asylum to remain in the country. Now, I'm not sure how it worked, but what it's saying is when they seeked asylum, they literally had to fill out in detail in the paperwork in order to receive it that their country was a dangerous country. They couldn't go back and they needed to stay here because this allegedly is a safe space. In doing so, they declared their lives was in danger because of their home country. And this is why they can't go back. But what had happened was, and I feel like the state and the country and everybody have been tracking this because they had to. They're saying that 50,000 of them who seek the asylum actually revisited their country. And what they're saying is, if your country was so dangerous, why did you go back as a visitor? And this is why they're looking to revoke 50,000 people asylum, because they're saying that now
If you have watched this video up until this moment, don't forget to subscribe. In that way, anytime I post a new video, you get a notification. To my old subscribers, you guys are the best. And to my new subscribers, I see each and every one of you. Oh, may God bless you. Guys, in this channel, we talk about trending gist, trending updates. Feel free to join the family by smashing the subscription button. Grab your popcorn, just sit down, relax, let's talk. Because at this moment, we need to talk. The reason why we need to talk, it is because it is actually blowing up right now on TikTok. The Cubans being deported from Florida, and a lot of reactions are going up here and there. And at the end of the day, everybody is entitled to their own opinion. Like the clips of videos you might have already watched before listening to my own opinion, you may see what they have said, and you don't need to blame them whether their opinion sit well with you or it does not sit well with you. Is their own opinion and they are entitled to it, because the way you were trained to see things is different from how another person to see things. You may be trained, you may be trained in a way that you can see some certain things you may feel like you want to ignore, why other persons are not trained that way. So that is where we are from different planet, different individual, different parental brought up, and so many things like that. So right now, as they are deporting them, a lot of people are saying that it is not supposed, because those people actually voted for Trump. Why is it that Trump and his administrations and all the whole people working with him are actually deporting those people? So just feel free to share your own thoughts. Drop your comments in the comment section. We are all learning at the end of the day. I can learn from you, and you also can actually learn from me. From what you might drop here, I can actually see something. I will say, yeah, yeah, at least I've learned something from the day. What do you think that they were supposed to be deported after voting Trump, or do you think they were not supposed to be deported? So guys, if you've watched up until this moment, I will see you in my next video. For now, bye.